My name's Kayla. I live in Arizona. I'm mom to 4 kids, and my older son is currently 5, but when he was 2, he had broken his arm. He broke his arm 3 times within that whole year. And he is limb different, so he has what's called Radial Aplasia. He's missing, he has a partial radius bone in his left arm, and he's completely absent the radius bone in his right. When he broke his ulna twice, we had issues with casting, but we managed. But that second time I was like, man, there should be a better way. I'm like, isn't there, like, shouldn't we be like 3D printing these things, making them customizable for people? I had never heard of ActivArmor, but you know, I started Googling stuff and it came up, and I asked our orthopedist about it, and he was like, yeah, it's a cool idea. We don't have it. And so, you know, the cast techs do as well as they can, but when you're working with anatomy that's not typical, you know, they don't teach you how to cast a forearm without a radius bone. You know, what do? And then he broke his humerus. He fell off of, he was getting up to eat dinner at the table, and it wasn't even like a high chair, it was like a regular chair. Fell off and broke his humerus, and this was after a day of like literally jumping off of the couch and stuff.
He is super active. He's just like my brother was.
So much. And this time when he hurt his arm, he just wasn't moving it. When he broke his ulna, he was still like, I mean, as soon as we were in a splint and then a cast, he was still just all over the place. He didn't care. But the humerus was a really hard break, and he didn't want to move his arm. He was in this huge splint, and he was only 2.5. Really tiny guy, huge splint. And then they wanted to put him in a weighted forearm cast, which is typically what works because you can't cast over your shoulder. And so they just put a bunch of weight down in the cast under the elbow, and with his shorter forearm, it would just slide right off. And it got to where the cast was below the mark of the fracture, and it was displacing the fracture even further. And for the 3rd time, we needed to go in and get it redone, and I went in without an appointment, and I was like, you guys have to fix this. My kid is in pain. You know, parents are gonna do as what they can for their kids. And while I'm in the waiting room waiting for them to like fit us in, I called ActivArmor. I was like, I read about that company, I'm gonna find out. And I was looking at the clinics, and at the time, because this was like 3.5 years ago, clinics were only in like Beverly Hills and somewhere in like Texas, and they were really far away from Arizona.
Right.
And I was like, I actually had my maps open, and I'm like, I'm gonna like, how far is it to drive to? I've never been to Colorado, but at this point, I will drive there if they can scan my kid and like get him into something that will work. And talk to Chris, and you guys were about to have a meeting, and he was like, I'm really sorry. He's like, I will call you right back though. And you know what he did? I was like shocked. And then you were working somewhere in Texas doing amazing things, like telling people about your product, and routed through Phoenix for just like what, 12-13 hour layover or something, and met us at the hospital and scanned his arm, talked to the doctor about it, showed him how all of it worked, and we got the cast. Like, it was the next day in the mail, like that evening, and I was able to put it on him right away. And the first thing we did was we threw him in the bathtub. Because he was 2.5, and he, you know, know,
the hardest
kids
thing
get
about
so gross
casts. I
and
know, and
dirty.
you can't shower. And to think that that's just okay. Like, people are gonna say, a doctor's gonna say, oh yeah, don't shower for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
don't wash
rubber
your
band
hands.
a bag over,
Yeah.
like, yeah, just have them like plop their leg out of the tub. Like, no,
No,
have
I
you
know.
met a child? Like, like,
Yeah.
you know, my kid, he was just, they get messy and they get dirty and food gets in it and they get itchy and it's just so gross when you take it off.
Yeah.
And, you know, the fact that I could just like, yeah, you know, go in, take a bath, let's actually wash you. I don't have to worry about like hurting his arm further. I don't have to worry about not getting it clean. He loved it, and he was so proud. He was showing everybody his red, you know, his Spider-Man arm.
Spider-Man, I was gonna say. Yeah.
And man, I don't know.
So the cool
hard-headed
thing
doctors.
now is that it's available on iPhone.
Yes.
So anyone can order one with their iPhone now, which is awesome. So that's gonna help give access to a lot more people.
Yeah, and we actually did that. I got the app as soon as it was available, and I ended up like 6 months ago having to scan Levi again, but this time for his ankle.
Yeah.
And we got it. I was able to scan it. We had a doctor's office visit, and thankfully it wasn't broken, but because he doesn't stop. And I was telling the doctor, I'm like, he keeps jumping off of things, and I can't keep an ace bandage on him.
You wouldn't let it heal.
And of course, the doctor's office isn't going to put a fiberglass cast on something that's not fractured. But I was like, look, this company's amazing. These things can be used, you know, fixed or removable. It can be a splint too. Obviously, we can't keep him in an ace bandage, and he keeps re-injuring it. Can you sign off on this? And he was like, absolutely, definitely. And so he helped me scan him there in the clinic with my phone, put the order through. He did the online prescription. It was super easy. Put in his doctor number things and everything. And again, like, we got it a few days later in the mail, popped it on him, and he was off to the races.
And he is super healed and healthy now, thank
Yes.
goodness. For the time being. He doesn't jump off anything.
Right.
Okay, Levi, can you tell us about when you got a boo-boo on your arm and you needed a cast? Did that hurt?
Yeah, we were at the doctor's, and I had to had a hand thing, and we were all done.
Remember when we put the red cast on your arm right here?
Yeah.
Do you remember how you got the boo-boo?
Yes.
What'd you do?
Scratched.
You scratched it? Oh my goodness. Did you fall?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Did it hurt?
Yes.
Uh-oh. So what did you think when you got what did you get on before the red cast? Did you get a different cast on? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you like it?
No.
So tell me this, Levi. Are you going to be more careful now and try not to break anything?
Yes.
That's good. I think Mom and I are both relieved on that. What do we have? Nice.